Hey guys, welcome back to more AFK Arena. So we've got the two new awakened heroes coming. They're Celestials and Hypergenes respectively. They are both mages and we've got their skills. Massive shout out to AFK Inside. Now these are just basic skeleton skills without multipliers, without cooldowns, without timers, anything like that. But we get a look for the way they work. And I'm hoping we can get some use out of these guys at one copy because double awakens is just going to be damn near impossible for most players. So we'll see how it goes. But let's go into the skills. We got Eugene and we've got Gavus. Now we'll start off with Eugene, who is the Hypergene, and we'll take a look at his kit. And now they do have synergies, like in their ultimate, they get extra damage if the other one is alive on the battlefield. But besides that, there's no other, like you have to have them both together. But they do have synergies, like just innate synergies in their kits, but it's not like limited that you don't get this unless they're on the other ones on the field. The only time that happens is in their ultimate. So let's go through Eugene. Eugene's energy limit is adjusted to X. Casting an ultimate will consume X energy with a cooldown time of X seconds. So it has an energy cost, but it also has a cooldown time. So he can't just infinitely spam this as soon as he gets energy. And I think that's probably because he's going to have so much energy, it's not funny, based on the way his skills work. Active. Eugene deals X% damage to all enemies when fighting alongside Gavis. If Gavis is alive and he deals additional 3 hits of damage for X% of Gavis's attack rating to the target with the highest damage. Now at Mythic, when casting the ultimate, magic cores, which we'll learn about in the next ability, on the battlefield will detonate and inflict infernal surge. Each detonated magic core increases the ultimate power by X% up to X% of his attack rating. Okay, that's cool. We get a max on it. I'm curious to see what the scaling is on that and the max capacity. Each detonated magic core permanently increases Eugene's magic pierce by X points up to X times. Pretty self-explanatory. He's got a cooldown on his ultimate, and it also has a cost, and then he's going to deals more damage when Gavis is alive, then gets the extra damage on top, on the extra ult power and the extra magic piece. All right, magic cores. Eugene deals damage for X% of his attack rating to targets and creates a lesser magic core around them, continuously reducing the magic resist of surrounding enemies by X points. I don't know if this is AoE and it's meant to be targets or if it's like one target per use, not too sure. This effect cannot stack. A projectile created by the skill Arcane Sting, which is the next ability we'll look at in a sec, will detonate any surrounding magic cores, dealing damage for X% of Eugene's attack rating to enemies around the magic core. Up to X lesser magic cores can exist on the battlefield. Additional cores will detonate and disappear. So I'm assuming they just come and they go. Pretty simple. And we'll see from his upgrades on the signature item, I feel like he's going to have a lot of cores and just going to be like carpet bombing, depending on what the max limit is on the cores. So when the projectile created by Arcane Sting, the next ability, detonates one magic core, it triggers a chain reaction and detonates other magic cores in range. So going to get exploding. A lesser magic core will evolve into a magic core, so a bigger one, X seconds after it's created. Now, the one thing about this is I don't think it says a limit on up to, because this says up to X lesser magic cores. Once again, this could be misinterpretation of the ability and stuff like that. But I don't think if they go up into like the bigger magic cores, I don't think they have a limit. So I don't know if you're going to be able to snowball this even bigger. Have to wait and see. After its creation, a less magic core will evolve into a magic core X seconds after its creation, increasing its detonation power to X% of Eugene's attack rating. After detonation, it will regress into a lesser magic core again, so it still stays. Level 20, Eugene gains X energy when a lesser magic core or magic core detonates. So this is where I think like he's got a cooldown time on his ultimate because he's just going to generate so much energy if he's going to keep spewing out these cores, depending on what the limit is. And then level 30, when using a skill, Eugene deals additional damage equal to X. I'm an idiot. Reset. When using the skill, Eugene deals additional damage to X enemy units and creates X lesser magic cores. Cool beans. All right, next into the Arcane Sting. This is the one that's going to be detonating those cores. Passive. When taking fatal damage, Eugene consumes energy to negate the damage. Every X energy can defend against damage for X% of Eugene's attack rating. So based on the way this is worded, we'll have to wait and see in game. I think if the damage is too big, he will just die and not negate the damage, because if his energy doesn't have enough and his attack rating to absorb all that damage, I'm curious whether he just dies or whether he survives with 1 HP or something like, or whether he does get the cheat death. I'm not too sure. I'm guessing that he will just get clapped if the damage is too high, like in high-end campaign and stuff like that, but we'll have to wait and see. When Eugene's ultimate cooldown is reset, but his energy is insufficient to cast it, Eugene will consume his own health instead. Every X% health can convert into X energy. So he will consume it. I'm curious to see if he doesn't have enough energy, but he doesn't have enough health. Is he still going to bring himself down to 1 health to get his energy as high as possible? Not too sure. But then we got an active portion. Eugene creates a projectile dealing damage for X% of his attack rating to the target and detonating any surrounding magic cores. That's where it has the magic cores. These two things have like absolutely no synergy between each other. This is where they just try to put in extra abilities into characters, and they're just putting 2 abilities into the name of 1 ability. It's so funny. All right. Furniture 3 of 9. At the start of battle, Eugene gains X energy. Cool beans. If Eugene successfully negates damage by consuming energy, he becomes immune to damage and control effects for the next X seconds. I'm going to say this is like 2 or 3 seconds tops, but we'll have to wait and see. And then we got his next ability, Thief of Fate. Eugene swaps the health of the allied hero with the lowest remaining health and the enemy hero with the highest remaining health. Health exchange cannot exceed X% of Eugene's attack rating. Eugene also deals damage for X% of his attack rating to the enemy target with the lowest health. So it does the big swapperoonie. Then E30. Upon using the skill, the energy of the allied hero with the lowest remaining energy and the enemy hero with the highest remaining energy will be exchanged with at least X energy swapped. Cool beans. When Eugene takes fatal damage that cannot be negated by the previous skill's passive, he then targets himself, triggering this skill effect and exchanging energy and health. This effect can be triggered up to X times per battle. I don't know if it has a cooldown, but that's kind of like a genuine cheat death where he's like, okay, now boys. And I guess if he takes fatal damage that cannot be negated, that means it's above that cap of attack rating that I was talking about. So I'm thinking that is the way the Arcane Steam works. But he's just like, nah, I'm not dying. We're swapping health. That's like a genuine cheat death in my mind. So E60 is probably going to be like a really important thing for him. I don't know. It depends if he's dying. Maybe he gives him some front or utility or something like that. I have no idea. Okay, now he's passive. When an allied hero accumulates X energy reduction from enemy heroes, think Odin and stuff like that for general idea, they restore X% of max health. When X% of max health is lost, they recover X energy. So as allies lose health, they gain energy. Now, I'm curious if this has any caps or anything, because, I mean, if you just get death immunity, if you look at something like, no, because if they're at 1 HP, they're taking damage, they're not losing health. Okay, I'm curious to see how this one works. We really need to know numbers for this one. We'll have to wait and see. But that is Eugene, the Hypergene. Next, we have Gavis, the Celestial. Now, the thing I like about Gavis is his actual skills, besides his ult, are really small description. It's just the upgrades that get really big. Well, look at this. 2 lines of description. 3 and a bit lines of description. 2 and a bit lines of description. I was really happy with it. But dude, the upgrades, the signature item stuff, what the hell? Okay, let's go into this. I'll try and scroll down as I read so I don't block it with my head. Actually, even better, you know what I can do? I can move my head over here while we do it, and we'll see if I forget to swap it over later on. All right. Orders ruling, the ultimate. Once again, we got another passive and active in an ultimate. Okay, passive. Gavis has 3 rules. This one's a bit long. I'll explain it at the end. Rebirth is... Okay, I'm not going to read the names. Okay, the first rule. No damage can be dealt during Gavis's entering into the battlefield. When you say, what do you mean entering into the battlefield? He enters slowly based on his second ability. So that's what you got to know. The next one, rule 2. Enemy heroes cannot harm Gavis unprovoked. Rule 3. The deaths of enemy heroes must follow a certain order. When Gavis's rules are violated, he gains X energy. Each rule can trigger this effect up to X times per second. Active. Gavis invokes Order Punishment, dealing 3 hits of damage for X% of his attack rating to the enemy hero with the highest accumulated damage. When fighting with Eugene, the Hypergene dude, He deals 3 additional hits of AoE damage for X% of Eugene's attack rating. Like I said, that's the little synergy they have together. The scales of balance sense the battlefield's order every X seconds, and Gavis's normal attacks can change based on the cumulative damage dealt by both sides. If allies deal higher damage, he gets one, and if the enemies deal more damage, he gets the other. Now, the one where the enemies deal more damage, his normal attacks will then heal the weakest ally for X% of his attack rating, and if his team is dealt more damage, then normal attacks deal damage to the enemy hero with the highest cumulative damage for X% of his attack rating. Cool beans. Hope that all made some sense. Like I said, he's got these rules. When they're broken, he's going to gain some energy. When it's actively used, he deals damage. And then we've got, hey, another passive on top, where his normal attacks change based on which team's done more damage. All right, at Mythic, what do we got? Increases, so this is the different beads, the different ones we talked about. Increases the defense of the weakest ally by X% for X seconds, and then the offensive one reduces the defense of the enemy hero with the highest cumulative damage by X% for X seconds. Cool beans. And then at level 3, when we get to Ascended, we recovers X% of the health of the weakest allied hero, and then the offensive beads deal additional damage to the enemy hero with the highest cumulative damage for X% of his max health, cannot exceed X% of his attack. Cool beans. There we go. Dude, that ultimate's got so much in it. Jesus. Okay, next one. Rebirth is... it's his rule, okay? This is the one. All right. At the start of battle, Gavis... dude... Inviolable? Dude, I know, it's stuck it was. Anyway, let's keep going. At the start of battle, Gavis slowly descends from above and cannot be targeted. Damage dealt by all enemies and allies is reduced by X%. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Awakened Leica in a way, but she does more units. Okay, that's pretty much it. That's it. That's the skill. That's the skill. But now we got to go through the upgrades. Let me move my head. Hey, I remembered. Look at me go. Look at me go. During Gavis's entrance, when an allied hero takes damage, Gavis gains X energy up to X energy max. Cool beans. More energy. After Gavis enters, the energy recovery of the enemy hero with the highest cumulative damage is reduced by X% for X seconds. Level 20. After Gavis enters, if an allied hero's health is lower than their counterpart, by counterpart, I think it means the enemy opposite them, in the starting position, they gain a shield equal to the difference in health, no lower than X% of Gavis's attack rating and no higher than X% of his attack rating. So it's capped. If there is no enemy counterpart or the counterpart dies during Gavis's entrance, then the allied hero gains a shield with X% of his attack rating. Cool beans. Level 30. After Gavis enters, he imposes his punishment on the enemy hero with the highest cumulative damage, causing them to lose health in 3 stages. Each stage of health loss is equal to X% of the damage the enemy has dealt during Gavis's entrance. Can be no lower than X% of his attack rating and no higher than X% of his attack rating. Basically, it's extra damage. Essentially what that level 30 is. All right. Life cannot be usurped. Did I get that right? When an allied hero takes damage from an enemy hero other than the one directly opposite them, the damage is reduced by X%. Now, mitigation, we'll have to see how this goes. Increased damage reduction by X% when allied heroes take damage from enemies other than the one directly opposite them, and grants the allied hero X energy each time they take damage. This effect can be triggered up to X times every X seconds. The X's in this one, the question marks, are going to be the big thing. We'll have to wait and see on that 3 furniture. And then we got the next one, for 9 furniture. When an allied hero takes damage from an enemy hero other than the one directly opposite them, it triggers Gavis's punishment, dealing additional health loss equal to X% of his attack rating. Each allied hero can trigger this punishment up to X times every X seconds. Once again, we'll have to see the X's in that one. Then we have his final ability, well, his final standard ability before his awakening ability. After Gavis enters, he determines the order based on the enemy cumulative damage. When the highest hero ranked as first, with the highest hero ranked as first, and the enemy here Jesus, I just brutalized that. Basically, he makes an order for the enemies that they got to be killed based on how much damage they've dealt during his entrance. I'm going to just leave it from there. The first enemy hero shares X% of damage taken by all allied heroes. Damage shared by the first enemy hero is increased by X%, and received healing is reduced by X points. Damage taken by the first enemy hero is increased by X%. I'm curious to see if this one snowballs. Like once the first one's dead, does that carry on to the next one? It doesn't read like it does, but it would kind of make sense, but I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait and see. And then we've got his awakening ability. When Gavis's rules are first violated, he gains X magic pierce points. When the first enemy dies, all allied heroes immediately recover X% of max health. Additionally, Gavis recovers X energy. That is what we're looking at. That's the awakening passive. Honestly, I mean, depends how much pierce, depends how well built he is. I don't know how important this is. You got a bit of a heal and a bit of extra magic pierce, and you get an extra ult out of him if he gets enough energy. I don't know. I don't think that's the most important awakening skill, personally, but we'll have to wait and see how it falls. But that is the new Awakened Celestial, the new Awakened Hypergene. A basic look at their skills. Obviously, we'll cover them when they drop in the game, which I'm assuming will be in about 2 to 3 days on the test server. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.